get some reaction to the just released unemployment figures for the third quarter of this year. I'm joined for this conversation by Mr. George Sebulela from the SA United Business Federation. Mr. Sebulela, thank you for joining us on the Daytime Update today. So once again, certainly not good news for the economy, not good news for South Africans. The unemployment rate now sitting at 34.9%. What is your reaction as business to these numbers?
Tammy, thank you so much for inviting SAUBC. We really are in dismay in terms of what we just heard from the statistics South Africa on these numbers. Let's do a quick important analysis from the second quarter to the third quarter. You would notice that the unemployment rate moved from 34.4% to 34.9%. That indicates that from 7.8 million unemployed, you're sitting now with 7.6 million unemployed. And if you look at the true expanded numbers, we moved from 44.4% to 46.6%. What does that mean? It's 12.5 million people are unemployed today. If we look at the youth, for example, we know that we moved from 64.4% to 66.5%, which really indicates to you that now currently as we sit, 10.2 million youth are unemployed. This is quite a very big number. It's in fact, if not the largest in the world unemployment statistics that we see, which is a big challenge in the South African economy.
So when we look at the various sectors that have contributed to unemployment, literally all of them bled jobs except the finance sector. What does this say to you, and where do you as the business fraternity fit in?
Look, you're quite correct. Major industries that we rely on, for example, the mining sector, we were expecting to see the numbers to grow even bigger. The construction industry, we were expecting the number to grow lower. We're very disappointed to even realize that as far as the community and the social services has also gone lower. Now, it is quite clear that we have, as SAUBC have mentioned on a numerous times, that there's a very important plan that needs to be put in place. For example, in the mining sector, we were talking about mining beneficiation. We are a very well-resourced country. We can be able to beneficiate and become an industry a leader for the world because of the quantum of the amount of mineral resources we have. Secondly, we know there's an urgent requirement of structural reforms to be accelerated by, in particular, National Treasury. And for simple reason that we are a fiscus that is extremely very pregnant with the government guarantees, as you know, with the likes of Eskom, the Transnet, and so on in number of these SOEs. So the quicker we can be able to restructure our economy in a manner that is geared for growth, as opposed to goalkeeping for social activities, I think that's really the most important thing we need to focus on. The last that I think is a very big quick winner is the restructuring of the agricultural industry of South Africa. We have a vast of land of agriculture. We could become a big supplier of vegetables and fruits and all agricultural products to the major economies of the world. And I think we have not put enough energy really to look at those industry sectors. For example, if you unpack the agricultural funding in a nutshell, is quite very restrictive.
You've mentioned a lot of possibilities and perhaps areas that we could be able to benefit from and be able to create more employment from. What do you believe are the stumbling blocks? Is it an issue of policy? What is it that's not quite making these particular opportunities come to fruition?
Look, we have always worried about the so-called PFMA, which is really the major policy that the government operates on. while it's got very good intentions in regulating, the possibilities of corruption and so on, but I think at the same time it becomes a really difficult policy for implementation. If you notice recently, the CEO of Eskom had mentioned that they could have implemented certain activities in order to ensure that they are able to procure and be able to deal with some energy challenges that they have. And the stumbling block has always been this PFMA. I think it needs a total review for the economy that we're sitting at today, just to make sure that it becomes extremely flexible and it allows flexibility in a situation where it's required. And at this present moment, I think, in a nutshell, the policy is becoming quite restrictive.
Mr. George Sebulela, thank you so much for your time and your insight on businesses' reaction to the recently released quarter labor force survey. He is from the SA United Business Federation.